itself is speeding up the information flow. As some of you may have noticed, I started out the series titling it Visions and Insights, and last night I had a dream that was very much a relevant dream to current times, so I decided to rename the series Visions, Dreams, and Insights. And so we're starting off all over again with a little bit of an expanded venue. And over in the last 45 years, I would say, maybe even longer than that, dreams have been very, very important in major shifts that have occurred in my life. And so whenever I have one of those special dreams, I always pay attention to it and jot it down somewhere on a piece of paper or in a notebook. And I would encourage all of you to keep a dream journal, because frequently we're not able to hear everything that's coming through to us because we're caught up in the material world. We're invested in the day-to-day activities, and as a result of that, we fail to recall very important communication that is given to us in the dream state. Now, I think that, it takes a little bit of training. You have to be somewhat observant of patterns that emerge in dreams, because a lot of my dream activity, a lot of my dream life is just processing out old information, and so it comes out as gobbledygook and really very irrelevant. It's just a release mechanism. But there are always those dreams that come through, and when you get up the following morning or wake up in the middle of the afternoon after a nap or whatever, that do seem to have a special edge to them. And those are the ones that you want to jot down, pay attention to, and don't expect an immediate understanding of it, because often what happens is we end up receiving information in a series of patterns, a series of communications from that deeper part of the self. So, and advancing now as to the dream I had last night, and I feel like it does apply to all of us, so something to be alert to over the next 4 or 5 days as we're moving through this process of the third quarter of the moon. And in my dream, I was standing in a room, although the room had transparent walls, and there was a door, and I was right at the edge of the door. The door was open, and on the outside of the door there was a precipice, and it was like a bottomless pit. It was an endless fall. And there was a person there, a man who was standing very, very close to me, like shoulder to shoulder, and I was aware of the fact that he had a wife and a daughter with him also. And I felt a certain amount of expectation or a little bit of apprehension about his presence. And when he turned around and acknowledged me, he had this somewhat cynical smile, a little bit of a look on his face of I'm going to get you. And there was a strong, powerful message being transmitted to me from him that he was going to push me out the door, push me off the ledge. And because I could pick up on his intention, because I was listening to the mental conversation, because no words had been spoken, I was able to realize what it was that he was trying to initiate. And I turned around and initially called out to family members, just alerting them to what was going on. But then more importantly, I turned to him and banished him. I told him to get away from me, to leave the room, to leave my life. And I found that to be a very, very important message, that there is something building over the next few days that may come up from the depths of the subconscious, from that area that self-undoing occurs in. And I think that it's very important to be alert to the fact that there is going to be an opportunity coming along for you to take that fatal plunge, to fall off the ledge, to take that step out the door and be in that place of free fall, not having the support, not having the grounding and the solidification that we all depend upon, rely upon for our journeys here on the earthly plane. So within that, I felt like it was somewhat important that I communicate the dream cycle that came through, and give everybody that is following my messages here a little bit of a heads up. Between now and Saturday, Sunday, that timeline, there is a window here where we have to be alert and recognize that even though the intention coming from the deeper part of the subconscious, the hidden part of us that often creates chaos in our lives, we have the power to banish it. We have the power to say, no, go away. You have no power here. And once I had communicated that in the dream state, it was very, very powerful, because he just kind of shriveled up and left. And there was a certain amount of resent and a certain amount of frustration and anger. But nonetheless, I took charge of the situation, and I felt like I had taken command of a potentially upsetting experience that was on the horizon. Now, I have no real clear sense of what this negative or unpleasant event actually might be, but I feel like I have, number one, put myself on alert, and number two, validated that I have the power to alter this potential timeline that could unfold, that could be not in my own best interest. So be alert to those urgings, those inclinations to do something very impulsively that may have serious repercussions over the rest of the week. I think that for a lot of us, we're standing on the brink, and even though we can take the leap of faith and be assured that we will recover from the fall, there nonetheless is a certain amount of intelligent response to life's little incidents of this sort that do come along. And I think this was a powerful enough dream so that I see it manifesting in more than just my own personal world. I see this as a theme that is unfolding on a global level. And I think it's very important that we not only communicate about this with those that are close to us, but perhaps send intention into the universe to put our collective consciousness on alert, so that we don't see world events leading up to another idiotic situation globally that is going to compromise our own best interests and compromise our advancement into this very magical and wonderful era of awakening. And like with any situation, when someone is very deeply asleep, as humanity has been, the awakening process is often strife with struggle, or rife with struggle is perhaps a better way to put it. So anyway, that was just the latest update. I think we're going to have magnificent opportunities to experience extreme highs over the next 4 or 5 days, but there's also that little shadow in there, and be alert to the shadow, be alert to the potential for stepping on that cow pie in the middle of the path. So get out there, share the love, pass the love around, and do share the video and give me feedback. I'm always looking for ways to refine my communication and validation that the messages I'm bringing through for you are in fact timely and of some importance in your own personal life. Anyway, if you're interested in readings or shared insights, my website is www.onefeatherjournal.com, and you'll see that on the outro for this particular video. And have a spectacular weekend. I think there's, like I said, a lot of positive energy out there. Grab that and ride with it, and make sure that when temptation arrives, you don't jump on it and take that unfortunate outcome kind of descent in the roller coaster of life. I'll be